Sonny?
Yes.
Why don't you come on? Sonny with Gulfgate TERS. And then I've got Rick Garcia with the Harrisburg TERS.
Where do you want us?
Just come on, yeah.
Short, cute people in the front.
Come on, stay right up here. You get it. Okay, let me just make a few acknowledgments first, and then we'll get started. I'm very, very excited to be here today and with Congressita Sylvia Garcia. And let me just start off from the very beginning with thanking you for your efforts, your work, your advocacy, your vote, quite frankly, for helping to make this day possible.
Thank you.
So please give it up to Congressita Sylvia Garcia. In fact, we're going to be talking about the RAISE grant, which happens now to fall within your existing district. And then virtually, we will be hearing from Congressman Al Green of the 9th Congressional District. I also want to thank him for his advocacy and support. And I think through the redistricting process, this area will then fall into his congressional district. And then I want to, I know that Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee's person, Europa Harris, where's Europa, is here today. So thank you for being present. And I would like to thank the Congresswoman for her support, advocacy, and vote as well. Then we have with us City Council Member Robert Gallegos of District I, and intimately familiar with this area. I know State Senator Carol Alvarado is on her way and is coming. We have State Representative Christina Morales of the 145th District. Good to see you, and thank you for everything that you continue to do. Someone who I've worked very closely with at the county. In fact, we're very close with the city and the county. And that's Commissioner Adrian Garcia, Harris County Precinct 2. Thank you, Commissioner, for everything that you are doing. I do want to acknowledge David Fields, who is the City of Houston Chief Transportation Planner. David Fields, well, you come stand right up here. And where's Veronica? Is Veronica here? Let me acknowledge these two who have worked very, very hard on making this possible, pulling everything together. I tell you what, Dave, why don't you stand here? Veronica, why don't you come stand right there? Yeah. Certainly want to acknowledge these two. And then Sonny Garza with the Gulfgate TERS that's worked very closely with us on this project. I want to acknowledge also Rick Garcia of the Harrisburg TERS. Ken Brown, where's Ken? Ken, why don't you come? Ken is Metro's Director of Service Planning, who is here today on behalf of Metro. I want to thank him. And then Frances Castaneda Dias. Where is she? There she is. Okay. Who is the Houston East End Chamber of Commerce. I want to thank Francis. State Senator Carol Alvarado has joined us. Thank you, State Senator, for being here. And then it's Veronica Chapa-Garsiski. Is she here? Yes. Where is she?
She's right here. Right.
Who is president of the East End District. Now, did I leave out any? Where's Director Haddock? Director Haddock, you come on. Director Haddock with Houston Public Works. So as you can see, what we're talking about is a collective effort in putting the application together. It took all of these individuals, but we would not be celebrating this particular moment without the vote and the money. Yeah. All right, now about this project. Today we are here to announce the City of Houston is one of the first beneficiaries of the IIJA, better known as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law. And I want to personally thank Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia, who has just been very instrumental in making this happen, along with Congressman Al Green, and of course all of our members of the congressional delegation, especially those who voted for it. for making this happen. The good the good news is that Congresswoman Sylvia Garcia said I had the money in my left pocket, and Mayor, and I still got some money in my right pocket when we go back to Congress to bring even more money to the city of Houston. Thank you already. Look, all of these members of Congress played a critical role in helping the city of Houston securing these dollars. The Department of Transportation coordinates raised grants, and that's rebuilding American infrastructure with sustainability and equity, which takes competitive applications for surface transportation infrastructure projects that have a significant local or regional impact in communities that have been historically disadvantaged and are socially vulnerable. Under our administration, Houston has previously been awarded what was then called a Tiger Grant for $9.5 million to secure dangerous roads prone to flooding. Today's announcement is more than double that award. Thanks to the funds secured by these members of Congress, and thanks to the law signed by President Biden, and thanks to the support of the community members and local partners standing here today, who are all very instrumental in pulling this application together on short. In fact, I'm sorry. Councilmember Sally Alcorn, yeah, I'm looking right at you. And Councilmember Carlos Cisneros.
Did you introduce Gallegos?
Yeah, I got Councilmember Gallegos. So my apology. Yeah, no, I'm sorry. As I looked around, because everybody worked together to pull this application together on short notice, and then, of course, turned it over, and then the Congress members did the rest. I certainly want to thank them because we are proudly announcing the City of Houston has been awarded $20.96 million, roughly $21 million, by Secretary Pete Buttigieg for the Telephone Road Main Street Revitalization Project. It is a rehabilitation project with reconstruction needs that rebuilds sidewalks, optimizes bus stops to boost levels for maximum access, optimizes signalized intersections, improves street crossings, provide protected bi-directional bike lanes, and adds intersection safety treatments. This grant will support Telephone Road between Lundell Avenue to the north and South Loop 610 to the south. To the north of the project, the Harrisburg Redevelopment Authority is revamping Telephone Road from Lundell to Polk Street. To the south, the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority is similarly giving Telephone Road a makeover from South Loop 610 to Revel Street. The grant fills the gap between the two and will help create a comprehensive corridor 5 miles long between the Hobby area and the Houston East End. It connects two of our complete communities, investing in neighborhoods that have previously been overlooked in infrastructure. These neighborhoods are a priority here at City Hall, and with today's announcement, they are now a priority on Capitol Hill, thanks to our members of the congressional delegation. In addition to the two members of Congress, I want to thank Councilmember Robert Gallegos, Harris County Commissioner Adrian Garcia, and State Senator Alvarado for their letters of support that were a vital part of our application. So thank you to each one of you individually, personally. Thank you. To secure an award of this size, it indeed takes everyone being on the same page. A special note to our local community partners, including the East End Chamber of Commerce, the East End Management District, and the Greater Houston Partnership, as well as Metro, and our partners in the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority, TERS 8, and the Harrisburg Redevelopment Authority, TERS 23. With that, let me again thank our members of Congress who worked across the aisle to produce the bipartisan infrastructure law. That law is already paying off for the city of Houston. To President Biden, let me thank him and his administration for their leadership, and I hope that they can come to Houston to see how this law is making our city safer, better for business, and more equitable for every Houston neighborhood. At this point, let me yield now to Congressita Sylvia Garcia.
Thank you, Mayor. And we'll get that congresista.
I'm getting close.
You're so close, so close. But you know, it's great to be back at City Hall. When I left here, I was watching the money And as you can see, now I'm working on bringing home the money. And Mayor, you're absolutely right. There's more to come. This is the first announcement, as he said. It's just beginning. And not only through the infrastructure bill, but through other funding mechanisms that we have passed in this last year. So there'll be money coming to the Port of Houston, to Metro, for more projects, for the police work that we're doing. So it's really about a whole bunch of things. But, just as we always like to say, we get the money as quickly as we can down here, and then we trust you to spend it as quickly as you can to make sure that it hits the ground. Because that has been the whole focus of these dollars, is making sure that it goes to where it's most needed, the most need. And I want to first start by thanking the President for his vision in making this possible, because other presidents before him have tried and tried again to pass an infrastructure bill through Congress. But our president, President Biden, got it done. And Mayor, I think we like to make note that it was bipartisan. There was 13 members of the House the Republican side of the aisle who voted for this bill, and 19 Republicans voted for this bill in the Senate. Regrettably, however, none of those were from Texas. But rest assured that with the help with some of our other friends, we got it done, and that's what's important. I'm also proud to know that we have so many friends here that have been a part of the process, because nothing like this gets done if I'm in Washington and don't talk to any of these folks. You don't get things done that way. So from the bottom up, the top down, we got it down. The support letters, all the advocacy work that's been done by so many proved productive, and we were successful. So I think this is a great example, Mayor, of what we can get done for equity, for sustainability, for bringing communities together, for transcending and being innovative and looking forward, because that's where our city is going forward, and these dollars will help us get there. And it proves once again that when you put people over politics, it works. People over politics, because our job is to get it done. We need to make sure we bring good paying jobs to our area, and Mayor, you're doing a great job in that arena. It's about lowering costs, and we've been doing that. I was pleased to say that I paid, I think it was $3.39 for gas over the weekend. We were complaining because it was getting close to $5, but it's already down. We're working on these things. People just must be a little patient. And Mayor, it's about safer communities. Right. And I know we have sent you some dollars already for work in public safety, but there will be more coming if things get done on Friday. I'm flying back tomorrow. We'll have another big vote on Friday that will focus on all of these three things to make sure that when people get around the kitchen table and look at their food prices, their gas prices, and other things that impact their lives daily, that they'll know that Congress is working for them. This is a small example. There will be more to come. So we'll be back because I watched the money here, but now my job is to bring it home. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, you're doing an exceptional job at bringing it home, but I don't want to pat you on the back too much, because we still want you to bring a whole lot back in a couple of wheelbarrows. Another congressperson who's another champion for Houston is virtually Congressman Al Green.
Well, thank you, Mayor. I hope you can hear me. Yes. I can see and hear you quite well. And I must tell you, I regret that I'm not there to be a part of that picture. That is a great picture, and it really is representative of what America looks like. I think that when we in Houston celebrate, we have much to celebrate, but our diversity is probably one of the best reasons for us to celebrate what we accomplish. And I thank you for your efforts to make sure that you represent all of the people in Houston, as is evidenced by your workforce, your staff. Mayor, I'm just grateful to you. So would you join me, please, in giving the mayor a big expression of appreciation for what he does to make sure that we maintain the diversity that makes our city so industrious and enterprising. I do want to mention Senator Alvarado because she and I were at the White House together just yesterday, and I had an invitation to attend another event there today that I accepted, which is why I'm not there with you. But I assure you, I am with you when it comes to bringing our tax dollars home. We are a city that is sending a lot of money to Washington, D.C., and we want to bring a lot of money back so that we can take care of projects such as this. And this project will do a lot for our city, especially this area, because when we increase the road sizes and when we bring in the sidewalks, we make the area pedestrian friendly, such that people will have a means by which they can traverse the area in a safe way. We also do something with drainage. This is always important anywhere in Houston, Texas, because we have a lot of flooding. Well, this will help us with drainage. And finally, there's something else. I have a piece of statistical information that I'd like to call to your attention. I am told that 6% of the city's streets represent 60% of the crashes that lead to deaths and injuries. Well, Telephone Road happens to be among them. And by doing this, we're actually expending money to save lives. This is a life-saving opportunity for us. And I'm so proud that the city is taking advantage of it. So, Mayor, I thank you for your stewardship. Members of council, thank you as well. Commissioner Garcia, want to thank you for all that you do, not only in this project, but many others, and all of the other persons that had a hand in this. It means a lot to know that in Houston, we work together to serve all of our constituents better. Houston is a great city because we have great diversity and great leadership that starts at the top with our mayor. So thank you one and all. Sorry I can't be there with you, but we're going to keep sending the dollars back regardless as to where we are. God bless you.
Thank you, Congressman. Thank you. And really appreciate you and your leadership. So thank you very much. Let me now bring up State Senator Carol Alvarado.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you to Congresswoman Garcia and to Congressman Green. The process that you see here, this is the way it's supposed to work, where you have federal government, county, state, local, everybody working together. Many of us are asked to sign letters of support for various projects. Sometimes you never know what happens to those projects because people really aren't working it like they should be. But with our congressional delegation, we know that they were working it extremely well to the point that it made it in the big infrastructure bill. And I want to give a lot of credit to the Biden administration. You know, when you focus on things like this that really work to improve people's lives, that's what government is supposed to do. As the Congresswoman said, put politics behind people, people ahead of politics. That's what we want to see. That's what our constituents want. So Telephone Road was overdue for a facelift. It's one of the oldest and very historical streets and highways in Houston. A lot of interesting history there. And by enhancing the infrastructure and bringing in landscaping and taking care of some of the flooding issues, it's going to create a more appealing area for people to want to get out on their bikes, to want to walk, and making it a quality of life environment that people want to come to. So thank you, Mayor, for organizing this and for the city's support. We know that you have people in Washington advancing your causes, our causes in the city, our county government, state government, our special purpose districts, and all of those who work hand in hand to make this happen. Let this be an example of what we can continue to do and to show the success when we work as one and when we work in a bipartisan way and we focus on things that improve quality of life issues. Thank you.
Thank you. That was from the State Senate, from the State House, State Representative Christina Morales.
Okay. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here, and thank you, Councilmember Gallegos, for inviting me to be here today. The true champions of this project are our Congress people, La Congresista and Representative Green. We thank you so much, and we celebrate you today. That's why I'm here today, to celebrate them, because they are the true champions, and so many people on this stage for making this happen. Telephone Road is very historical. I went to school along Telephone Road, so I remember my parents driving up the street, and as our senator said, it's so historical. The big Coca-Cola sign, remember that? It's such an important part of our community, of the district that I represent. And I can tell you, everybody standing here today is here because they want to improve the quality of life of all of our constituents and community members. And you prioritize that, and we thank you so much.
From the county, Precinct 2, Commissioner Adrian Garcia.
Thanks, Mayor. First of all, let me just once again thank La Congresista, my Congresista, and thank her for her leadership. We're so excited. And I would also just say, Mayor, that it is very, very important to reemphasize what Senator Alvarado said and what Representative Morales said, and thank our city delegation, Councilmember Gallegos, Cisneros, and Cayman. Thank them for their respective leadership, as well as the citizens who take on a role in our respective communities. And a letter of support was my part of the contribution in this process. But it's a letter of support, like the senator mentioned, that if we don't provide, then it begins to change the configuration of a very, very complicated puzzle. But there's also a second piece of that, and it's ensuring that internally in Harris County that we're not getting the process even much more complicated by then competing in a parallel manner. So I'm excited that we were able to contribute to the process and ensure that all things moved along in a very streamlined and equitable way. Now, if we could just get the state to get out of the way, obviously present company not included, we could make even a greater difference in our respective communities. But the details to this particular project, number one, when I go eat my breakfast at Telewink, I won't have to strap on my helmet and put on my mouthpiece to make it down the road. But effectively, this is very consistent with your complete communities and Precinct 2's Revive to Thrive, revitalizing neighborhoods while the people who have been advocating for the improvements are still living there, and not see the improvements come just because gentrification is driving those changes. And so providing a more accessible, more walkable corridor, better places to live, work, and play. All of this helps to stem the tide of pricing out residents and stripping the community of their long-time culture. That is Revive to Thrive. And then the other improvements that come with it is adding bike lanes. I know Commissioner Ellis will be very excited. He'll be riding through there as soon as they're done. The sidewalks so that our children and families can make the community or enjoy the community, and it would be much more safe and walkable. It also creates a medium that will bring safety and beautification between Winkler and 610. It will improve and build crosswalks throughout the project and improve 40 telephone bus routes to boost standards with improved accessibility for wheelchairs and strollers, bus shelters with lighting, and digital real-time bus arrival and easier traffic flow. And so all of this is exciting, but simply to be said that, ladies and gentlemen, it matters who is in office. And as it's been said, but it can't be said enough, we want to thank President Biden from Harris County to Houston to let him know that we are so grateful. But if we did not have advocates like La Congresista and like El Congresisto, Al Green, and La Sheila, if we did not have them in office, we wouldn't be able to stand here and celebrate. And this infrastructure bill is something that really cuts to our respective communities for all the things that neighbors want to see and expect of their communities. So very, very excited. And It's great that when we make the call to Washington, D.C., Congresista, that you, the president, and our respective delegation actually answer the call. Thank you very much.
In English, your friend.
That's right.
Thank you, Mayor.
You see, I started the Spanish of La Congresita, and they just done picked up on it,
You're the pace setter.
Look, I also want to call on a group that I really appreciate working with every single day. The spokesperson will be Councilmember Robert Gallegos of District I, but Councilmember Carlos Neves of District H is present, and then at-large member, Councilmember Sally Alcorn, is also present. But the council members have just been terrific. Complete communities, directing resources in underserved, undeveloped communities. So let me bring on Councilmember Robert Gallegos to speak for the members of City Council.
What a great day for the City of Houston, most especially here in District I. Want to thank Mayor Turner for his leadership in this, but also want to acknowledge individuals who have worked behind the scenes to make this happen, including Director Haddock, thank you, Director, Deputy Director Davis, Catherine Summerlin, David Fields, and Peter Eccles. The RAISE grant application for the Telephone Road Revitalization Project will be transformative work in a neglected area in my district over the coming years. It will provide access to several communities in the greater Gulfgate, Fondy, and Freeway Pine Valley neighborhoods, from Lawndale Street to South Loop 610 Freeway. But it specifically enhances multimodal safety in an area with one of the highest crash rates in the city of Houston. Like the mayor, I remain committed to enhancing multimodal accessibility, increasing economic opportunities, and improvement in the quality of life for the surrounding communities, enabling Houstonians to safely travel to and from work, school, and other destinations. We are excited to have federal infrastructure funding, $21 million of the $26.2 million coming from the RAISE grant. The City of Houston, along with the Gulfgate Redevelopment Authority, is also vested in the reconstruction project by contributing tax revenue from the TERS. I will continue to work to enhance the remaining sections of Telephone Road to create a continuous and cohesive transformational corridor that will provide a significant positive impact to Houstonians. This work is not done in a silo. It truly takes a village to accomplish this type of large-scale project. I would first like to thank the community for their support of this project and for participating in the Livable Center study funded by the East End Management District that helped to reimagine the telephone corridor. In addition, I want to thank the Houston Public Works and the Planning Department for the work put into the successful grant application and for working with my office throughout the process. I would also like to thank the Gulfgate and Harrisburg TERS for continuing to work with my office to bring transformative infrastructure projects in District I. Finally, to my colleagues at the local, state, and federal level, thank you for seeing the benefit of this project and for your support. And thank you, everyone, for being here. Thank you.
Just a couple of more, and then I'm going to let you go. I am so proud of everyone who worked to make this happen. It did take a collective effort. I don't want to overlook at all Houston Public Works. So, Director Haddock, are you speaking, or who do you want to speak on behalf of Houston Public Works? Come on, Director Haddock.
Thank you very much. Well, thank you, everybody. As you can tell, we are all delighted to be here today. Excuse me. I'm going to speak on behalf of Houston Public Works, but I will tell you that one of the things that is most delightful about this award coming to us is that it is a premonition of what this city is capable of doing as we move forward. As soon as we have the IIJA criteria for each of these categories, we are going to collectively work together within the city, with our partners at the county, with the state and the feds to make sure that we identify the project that meets the criteria, that competes the best in the nation, and brings the money home. We're going to do that every single time. It's our commitment to you. It's our commitment as members of Houston Public Works. But I will also say it was a tireless effort, both by the employees of Houston Public Works and the Planning Department, to make sure that we had the information that we needed, to make sure that we had the community concerns included, to make sure that we had the council members' voices represented as these applications were prepared. And so I want to say thank you specifically to the employees of Houston Public Works, Houston Planning Department, and to our elected officials who made sure that your voices were at the table and that we heard them as we went through this process. And we look forward to being able to compete in future opportunities and bringing more money here. We're not satisfied with this one. This isn't a one and done. This is a one of many. And so this team is ready. We're resting a little bit for the next set of criteria that comes down. And as soon as it's here, we're going to be burning the candle at both ends to make sure we get that next project to the Houston area. Thank you.
Thank you. And Sonny Garcia. Sonny, why don't you come up and represent all of the special purpose districts that are involved.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Sonny Garza with TERS 8. It's very important that, what the TERSs do is we contribute to our zones. And TERS 8 right now is involved in major infrastructure. We've got plans that are like redoing all the parks within the TERS, along with the purchase of another one. We've done 2,400 workforce housing units. And this is all done in partnership with developers and our community. So our ability to be involved in this process, to extend it into the TERS, is very exciting. We look forward to it. Thank you.
And then finally, Ken, why don't you come up representing Metro, Ken Brown representing Metro, because all of these things are interrelated and integrated.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak. One of the things that we are devoted to is making sure our stops are accessible. We want people to understand that transit is an option, and not just an option, but a great option. And the only way that transit can be a great option is if it's accessible. And so this provides us with an opportunity to make sure that that happens. And we're going to work together to coordinate and make the enhancements to this corridor to improve every aspect of our customers' trip. So thank you.
All right, and we're focused on the $21 million, but I think we would be short-sighted in just focusing on the $21 million. That's the part of the cost of $26 million of making it happen. It's the beginning. But it is the economic development and the economic multiplier. Because as we invest in these communities where there has been a lack of investment, it will attract others to come, invest, build, open businesses. So the economic multiplier is so much greater than 21 million. And again, I want to thank Veronica and David and so many others for really coming together. Are there any questions from anybody? We get it done? Okay, then we're going to take some pictures. Okay, so let's do it right quick.